The history of Houthis. The Houthis, also known as Ansar-Allah, have been making headlines in recent years for their involvement in the ongoing conflict in Yemen. However, this militant group has a long and complex history that dates back decades. In this video, we will delve into the origins of the Houthis, their beliefs and goals, and the events that led to their rise to power in Yemen. Understanding the history of the Houthis is crucial in comprehending the current situation in Yemen and the impact this group has had on the country and the region as a whole. The origin story. Understanding the Houthis. Delving into the cradle of the Houthi movement, we find it rooted in the Zaydi Shia sect, the third largest Shia Islamic faction. Named in honor of its initiator, Houthi Bedreddin al-Houthi, the movement sprang to life during the 1990s in Yemen, a country largely dominated by Sunni Muslims. Interestingly, this movement was born not out of political rebellion or military intent, but rather as a theological response. It was a strategic countermeasure to protect Zaydi traditions from being eroded by the encroaching influence of Salafist ideologies and Western cultures. In its infancy, the Houthi movement was far from the militarized entity we know today. Its primary focus lay in the realm of education and religious instruction, a means to preserve and promote the unique Zaydi cultural heritage. The movement was relatively peaceful and concentrated its efforts within the spiritual sphere, a far cry from the armed faction that would later shape Yemen's future. The Houthi movement serves as an intriguing example of how seemingly benign origins can evolve into powerful revolutionary forces. Evolution of the movement. From spirituality to arms. In the years following its inception, the Houthi movement saw a significant transformation. The turning point was the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003, which ignited anti-imperialist sentiments within the group. The event served as a catalyst, propelling the movement from the realm of religious instruction to the battleground. Led by their founder, Houthi Bedreddin al-Houthi, the Houthis staged an uprising against Yemen's then-president, Ali Abdullah Saleh, expressing their vehement opposition to what they perceived as foreign intervention. The outcome was grim, with al-Houthi losing his life, but this did not quench the revolutionary fervor. The followers continued the fight, their resolve reinforced by the loss of their leader. The Houthis started navigating the murky waters of armed insurgency. Their spiritual endeavor had morphed into a military struggle, altering the course of Yemen's future. The ascent to power. The fall of Sana'a. The rise of the Houthis to the zenith of power has its roots in the tumultuous period of political instability that gripped Yemen in the aftermath of the Arab Spring in 2011. The ouster of President Saleh tossed the nation into a vortex of power void, offering a ripe opportunity that the Houthis deftly seized. Their strategic patience and maneuvering started bearing fruit by 2014 as they wrestled control of Yemen's capital, Sana'a, from the grip of the incumbent regime. Their control over Sana'a was further consolidated with the resignation of President Abd Rabbu Mansour Hadi, allowing them to tighten their hold over government institutions. This audacious takeover was a watershed moment, etching a new chapter in Yemen's history and altering its political landscape forever. The Saudi intervention and the ongoing conflict. The dramatic rise of the Houthis did not sit well with everyone, especially their immediate neighbor, Saudi Arabia. Feeling an encroaching threat with a Shia-dominated group asserting control just across its border, Saudi Arabia felt the need to act. The response was swift and intense, culminating in the formation of a coalition of Arab nations in 2015. This alliance, led by Saudi Arabia, mounted a significant military intervention, seeking to oust the Houthis from their newfound perch of power. The campaign aimed to tilt the balance of power back into the hands of the Yemeni government. However, the reality of war is seldom as straightforward as its blueprint. Despite years of relentless combat, the coalition has been unable to dislodge the Houthis. What do the Houthis want? Peeling back the layers of rhetoric and examining the core tenets of the Houthi movement reveals a local focus that belies their notorious slogan. Their primary pursuit is greater autonomy for their northern stronghold, Sa'da province. This is not a quest for complete dominion, but rather an effort to establish a fair distribution of power that respects the unique cultural and political identity of the Zaydi Shia community. The Houthis assert that they are fighting against a system that has marginalized and economically sidelined the Zaydi Shia for decades. Their struggle, as they see it, is a push for justice and equity. They yearn for representation and a voice in the governing structure, a place at the table where decisions that impact their lives are made. The international perspective, the Houthi dilemma. The global community faces a conundrum when dealing with the Houthis. On the one hand, the obligation to maintain international law requires condemnation of the Houthis' aggressive maneuvers. On the other hand, the unrelenting humanitarian crisis gripping Yemen, with millions teetering on the edge of starvation, necessitates urgent attention and action. Thus, despite the international misgivings, the Houthis, due to their stronghold on northern Yemen, cannot be wholly dismissed or ignored in deliberations regarding Yemen's future. The world must grapple with this Houthi paradox, balancing the necessity to condemn violent actions while also considering the need to alleviate the unfolding humanitarian crisis. This dual obligation has added a layer of complexity to international discussions about Yemen's destiny. If you crave more captivating content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't miss out. Hit the bell icon to receive instant notifications. Stay tuned for exciting updates and a continuous stream of engaging videos.